Some of the resources that we use. I am not going to tell you who ATCRE Church are and what they do, because we've done you a little sheet to save time, so you can just look really at what we are and what we do and some of our things, just to save time, because this session is all about resources. Because if you're teachers, chaplains, primary, secondary, you want to know things that you can use in your classrooms that you can take away from today, and that's what we're here to tell you. Now, I myself used to be a teacher, so I was an RE teacher, head of RE, I was a chaplain as well, and I feel that, and I think this came across in lockdown really well, that you know how suddenly the whole country was saying teachers are amazing, and teaching, I think, it's a bit like that, and you kind of like have all those things, don't you, every single day. And then one day you miss one tiny bit of the jigsaw puzzle and someone's on your case on the email and you're like, oh, please give me a break. But we do an amazing job, and teaching, juggling all of that is amazing, but I would say RE teaching is even more amazing, as we heard this morning from David Wells and from Philip Robinson. Now, if we look at RE, because we're looking at getting exam results, doing our, normal progression, all the things we have to do, but then obviously as RE teachers, we are looking at to lead the pupils to God and to bring in that big questions, the element of the transcendent, which is what we do every day. Now, so therefore, because, and I'm going the wrong way, because of that, that's why we at ACN have decided that the way to engage you is to give you resources. So that's why I'm here, that's why Bridget's here, that's why we're all here. But then obviously we're going to ask something of you, of course. But I want to, in a way, just say to you, Aid to the Church in Need are here. Because I think in schools, in Catholic schools, the bigger charities do amazing work, all of them do. But there's room for all of us, and a lot of schools haven't heard of Aid to the Church in Need. A lot of schools don't know what we do, and we just want to celebrate it because we're expanding our team and we've got so many plans for schools coming up. So this is what I'm going to aim to do. The first bit is to say, yep, RE is amazing, Catholic schools are amazing. That's one of the things about being on the media. That's what I've done on the media, is defended Catholic schools, and we know they're under threat. Catholic schools are amazing, and our job is that amazing thing. We at ACM want to help you, and how we're going to do that is we have teacher-written curriculum resources, everything from sixth form general RE, GCSE, Key Stage 3 curriculum, things that are relevant to Section 48 and especially the new specification and the new Section 48 guidance, and primary, and resources for special educational needs pupils. So we have all that already, and we want you to use them. That's as simple as it is. Now, I know myself, when someone like me would come into school and say, oh, we've got this and we're going to do this and we've got this campaign, I'd think, oh, that's brilliant. And then on Monday morning I would forget about it because there's so many other demands on your time. So I'm really hoping that through this session I will inspire you, or we will inspire you, and the work we do will inspire you to say, actually, Aid to the Church in Need is something I can take back to my school. So we're doing that. And the reason why we want to do it, as I said, is we want you to engage with us. And we believe that your students will be helped by knowing about what we do. And this is a really big thing. Because what is happening in the church across the world, the people we work with, over 5,000 projects every year, we see the church in some ways at its most vulnerable, but in some ways at its most alive. And for some of our students, they maybe don't see the church as alive. They don't see Catholicism as something that's growing, which it is, even in places like China. So our resources will enable them to get that worldwide perspective, which also is in the new Section 48 criteria. And obviously, we think that if we involve you, then you're going to help us. And I don't think it's too far to say that together we will be building the kingdom of God, and I really believe that. I believe that the persecuted church, that the church that's suffering around the world, has something to tell modern young people in this country, and that they will learn from that, and they learn from that witness. And it's actually moving when we see that in practice. So without further ado, I'm just going to move on and show you some of the resources. Now this one starts with, this is a secondary resource. To say this secondary resource is now, I'm now adapting it for primary school as well. So this is our first resource which I want to talk to you about. And it's part of a wider campaign, and this is one of the people who are involved in this campaign. And the campaign is about religious freedom. So as I said, if we say RE is the heart of the curriculum in a Catholic school, the European Human Rights Convention said that religious freedom is also the heart of a democracy. So whether a person in your lesson is a Christian or a non-Christian, someone from a world faith or an atheist, every single one of us, as people living in a democracy, needs to care about religious freedom, because we all want to know that we have the freedom to either believe or to not believe or to change our faith. And that's something that we can see encroaching even in this country. So this first resource is called Go to Mass for Someone Who Can't, shortened as Go to Mass. And the idea is that pupils go to one extra Mass for somebody they have never met. So John Paul II said, prayer linked to sacrifice is the most powerful force in the world. And we are asking them to make a sacrifice to go to Mass, literally. And we're not asking them to pray for themselves. We're not asking them to go to a lovely liturgy that we put on in school with fancy music and a little role play and all the rest of the lovely things we try and do in school. It can be a normal Mass. They go to Mass and they offer it to pray specifically for a persecuted Christian. One of the people we have for them to pray within, this is for secondary because it's quite a harrowing story, this is really for sixth form, is this story of Myra Shabazz. Myra is 14 and she has been stuck in a room with her family in Pakistan, unable to go out, not because of COVID, but because she and her family may be killed if she goes out. She was abducted at 14. She was forced to convert. She was raped. She was filmed. And eventually when she escaped, she was accused of apostasy, and so therefore there is a thing to kill her and her family. Aid to the Church in Need are working at this moment to get her and her family, Myra, asylum in this country. But we are also doing a prayer campaign because we believe that prayer changes things. And that's what we want to get across to students. When we say go to Mass, it's not a nice little thing we do. We're saying, actually, we believe this. We believe that your prayer can help somebody on the other side of the world. So this is Myra, and so we're doing the advocacy and the prayer, and I'll talk to you. We've got a letter that your children can sign. It was written by a 17-year-old here, which I'll try and keeping an eye on time. But there's a whole campaign that goes with it. I'm going to explain the Go to Mass resources. So, as I said, it's Go to Mass for someone who can't. Now, if I'm a student and I say to you, if I'm a normal student at school, even I think about back to myself at that age, I say, oh, will you go to Mass for Myra? I say, okay, you know. Someone else might say, no, you know, I'll do some campaigning, I'll do something else. In order for somebody to go to Mass for someone who can't, they have to understand a few things. They have to understand what the Eucharist is, and they have to understand about religious persecution. So these lessons take the pupils on a journey. There are 12 lessons. They have got animations, quizzes, lesson plans, presentations, art things. They're fully done, all ready to go. You can use them, you can adapt them, you can use them for Key Stage 3. And there are bespoke videos in there made by a variety of people, like Father Dominic Lees, if anyone knows him, Father Frankie Mulgrew, people from all different walks of life have made these videos. So we go on a little journey, and I'm going to explain it to you. what happens in this resource. That, just to show you, is some of the worksheets. As I say, they're written for sixth form. And as you can see, those could also be used for A-level philosophy, if any of you teach A-level philosophy, because all of our resources cross over. So once you look at them, you'll be able to see where you could fit them in other places. That one is another one. That's if you know C.S. Lewis's Trilemma, you Mad, Bad or God. And if you're doing any lesson on proving the existence of Jesus, again, you could use that. You could use that at GCSE. They're all there for you to use. So this little graphic will explain it, and I'm going to do it on here. So go to Maths for someone who can't. So pupils go to 1 extra Maths or time of adoration. Now, I just want to pause there and say, if you have people in your schools, obviously most of us do, who are not Christian, they can go to the mosque, Gurdwara, or synagogue, wherever they go. If they're a non-Catholic Christian, they can go to their own church. If they're not a believer, they can just take on one of the activities and do one of those instead. So it does cater for everybody. So the process begins with, as you will have seen some of those, the process begins with this idea of decision making. Now, a lot of our students spend ages deciding, a bit like me today, what to wear and what university to go to and all of these things, but sometimes forget to make decisions about some of the bigger things. So in a way, the lessons are challenging them. These first few lessons are challenging them to look at how they make decisions and why decisions are important. This is all to do with this, but as I said, you're not going to go to Maths for somebody who can't unless you've done all this first, especially if you're not too sure about your faith. Then we look at the nature of reality. How do we know what's real? Why do we care what's real? Some of those philosophical things that we cover. Then we move on to looking at truth. What truth is? Why does truth matter? Why do I care if somebody lies to me? Then we go on to looking at Jesus, who said he was the truth, the way, the truth and the life. And what we are asking them to do, or what the lessons are asking them to do, is to say, okay, if Jesus said that, isn't it surely worth making a decision to look at it and see if it's true? Is it worth you spending some time to work out if that's reality or not? And if it is reality, then everything, Mass, the Bible, everything is real. And therefore your sacrifice of going to Mass for a persecuted Christian is going to make a difference. So then the next set of lessons, then we get on to persecuted Christians, and we have there's a research task, there's loads of videos, it's the reality of the persecuted church, there's lots of worksheets that they can do, and then finally we ask them to link it all together and to go to 1 extra Mass. And you will see you have a little card like that. They get a little card with the person they're going to Mass for, and some schools have said, you know, their pupils really like these, and we're doing primary ones, which I'll show you in a minute, and they keep these with them and they say, I'm going to Mass for Myra. One of the people we had on our last time, the campaign was Asiya Bibi. Don't know if any of you have heard of her. We did this campaign at the time of Adoramus. You remember when the Eucharistic Conference was on? And Asiya Bibi was one of the people on these cards, and thousands of people, I'm a bit emotional saying this, thousands of people took the cards and prayed for Asiya Bibi. There was loads of diplomatic things to get her. She was imprisoned for 10 years on a sort of spurious blasphemy charge in Pakistan as well. And Asiya Bibi is now living in Canada with her family, and she's safe. And she was one of the people that got prayed for. So so that's by the side. So that's where we go to. Now I'm going to flick on a video which goes really fast, just to show you what the presentation looks like, and I'm going to stop it quite quickly because you get the idea. I just want you to have a little look at it, and then, as I say, yes, of course.
Sorry to interrupt. Would it be alright to turn those lights off?
Of course, yeah. It's really hard to see.
Because it does a bit glare.
Thank you. Yeah. Especially with it going fast. That's the last thing. So, as I say, those of you who are primary, the primary version will be ready probably after Christmas. So these are what the lessons look like. And you get a rest from me talking. I can get it today. Goes on, as I said, on the themes. Things like that are animations with worksheets to go with them. To the research task about persecuted Christians. And then it goes on to the last lesson, which is all about the Eucharist and being revolutionaries. So these are the corresponding ones for primary school, the cards. So these are the ones we're going to do for primary, where obviously the stories are a lot more tailored to primary children, and they get to go to mass for somebody, or they can do it in pairs. That's doing it. Or they can go in pairs, and the idea is they get their little card, it will be bigger, and they can draw their face on it too, and their face of their friend, and their friend will go to the mass for the person. There's a video which I don't think I'm going to have time. This is which explains it all again, but I'll tell you at the end why I'm so rushed, because I'm going to invite myself to your schools basically. But anyway. Okay, so now I'm moving on to some other things we have. We have lots of games, role plays and simulation games. Again, all of these can be adapted. This one is called Picking Projects. We have loads of projects around the world. One of the ones that is on here is called St. John the Merciful Table, and that is a kitchen in Lebanon. Lebanon, you probably know, has the most refugees per population than anywhere else in the world. And when the war in Syria took place, loads of Syrian refugees had to flee over the border into Lebanon, and they had nothing. I mean, I wish I had time to show you the videos, they're so moving. They had nothing, just the clothes on their backs. Some of them had to leave families, some of them lost families. And some of our colleagues at ACN have met these people and tell us their stories. And they are, they are heartbreaking, but they are an amazing witness of faith also. And St John the Merciful Table is a place where they go, they get fed every day, they get companionship, they get spiritual counselling, they get normal counselling, they get to be together. So it's one little thing, that's one of the projects. Another one is called the Mustard Seed, which was in Syria. It was the only place in Syria where children with special needs or disabilities could get free day care. And for some of the people in Syria, there was apparently in some communities there was a kind of shame around having a child like that, and this place would really celebrate them. Now the nun who runs that, Sister Samia, she is an amazing woman. They got bombed out twice from the building that they were in, and she never left during the whole time of the war, and she moved twice with her group, with the children, and carried on looking after the children. And we've got the videos. And
I was going to say, there's a great video of Sister Samia and the kids on the ACN International YouTube channel. It's really worth
so
watching.
moving.
It's just 5 minutes.
Yeah, and if I've got time, I'll be able to show you a bit of it actually. So that's just two of the projects. So this game, they take on different roles, and they are like a member of the ACN staff, and they have to fight for their project, and they get a certain number of credits, and they have to go through these different projects, and then they have to come to a consensus, and it looks a bit like this. But I'm just showing this to show that you get everything that comes with it. So you get all the things that you need. You get the cards, you get, like, that's part of the PowerPoint that comes with it, all the instructions, you get the learning outcomes, and hopefully in the not too distant future you'll have the links on the curriculum where it crosses over as well. So to help people who are in desperate need, and then they have to choose, and then obviously it has your learning outcomes and things like that. There's another resource which is similar, which is based on, this is based on the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, and so again, you get everything you need, you get the PowerPoint, you get told how to play the game, you get the board that you can print off, and then you're told what you need to do. They get little cards that they play, you get everything basically, and then you get the reflection questions at the end. Now the reason I'm showing you these is because if you were doing a faith day, for example, or you were doing a retreat day, or you were doing something on refugees or forgiveness or vocation, there's so many aspects of the RE curriculum that these things cover that we can tailor-make for you. That's what we're looking to do. So moving on. A couple more and then I'll let Bridget talk. Excuse me, sorry. Do we know about that?
You're just trying to go to a website.
I'm just trying to go back to the original thingamajiggy, because that's one into PowerPoint, it was on Google Slides.
This was the PowerPoint that we started with.
We maybe come out of there. So that's the one. I mean, we can do it from PowerPoint if we have to. Just close this. If you want to go to your website now, I should put it now.
wherever it was in your drawing.
Oh, they set it up for me.
I know that was on PowerPoint.
It was
on
not-
PowerPoint.
No, it was on Google Docs, but I didn't know that's on PowerPoint.
Oh, I opened the PowerPoint for you.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, right. I thought you said it was on Google Docs. Sorry.
It's okay.
Okay, so this is another resource, Mother's Day. Mother's Day falls very near the Feast of the Annunciation and also International Women's Day, so it's a really nice time to do something. This is a fundraising activity where we ask the pupils, this is especially Key Stage 3 or primary, we ask them to make their own mother a Mother's Day card and have a special liturgy where they offer it up and pray for their own mother or grandmother or carer. We also then show them 5 mothers from around the world and we ask them to make a card for them too and also offer that up at the liturgy, and they save the money they would have bought the card for their own mum and then give it to these mothers. Now the mother on there, I'll only show you a tiny bit, I wish the ones that we have, a mother from Nigeria, a mother from Sri Lanka, remember the other ones. I won't play it. Basically, this is one of those animations that you draw and it tells you about Sri Lanka and the bombings and the tsunami, and it says why the mothers there need help, but it's okay for younger children, and you get the graphics of that. There's also always technology, isn't it? Always technology.
You can try and go to your drawing if you like.
So I'll stick in the back. It's all right. Don't matter. It doesn't matter. Advent and Lent are secondary. Lent is called the Mobile Phone Challenge. Again, we ask them to give up their mobile phones for 24 hours. And we don't make any bones about it. We say that this is going to be really hard, and really hard for us as well, and really hard for the teachers. And the Advent one is Follow the Star of Bethlehem. And I wish that's what the prayers look like. You get a prayer for every single day of Advent. You get a prayer for every single day of Lent. I have got another graphic, but I'm scared to try and play it. It zooms in on you, so you're definitely going to have to invite us to your schools. But basically, there's 5 prayers for every week for the Star of Bethlehem, and they're on different themes. And this is one of the activities that go with, I won't play that, that go with the mobile phone challenge. So you get everything you need. You get the infographic, and then you can see fasting, and this is all about their phone, and then why are they doing it, prayer, our prayers, links to them, they're going to sponsor it. And this is actually Syria, and that's St. John the Merciful Table. So that's where you're leading them from there to there. And again, all the resources are there on there. And there's another one they can colour in if they want. This is a Key Stage 3. It's a Lent booklet, and it has all the Stations of the Cross with activities, colouring books, sheets, prayers, and a PowerPoint linked to every single day of Lent that you're in school. I feel tired just saying it. But I won't play it because I'm scared I'm going to mess everything up. But it flicks over, so it was going to be really flash, but you can just trust me on that. Okay, Bridget,
Okay.
I'll come back at the end.
So just a little, which way is it? Up or
Down.
Down. Okay, perfect. So I'm Bridget, I'm also one of the staff at ACN. I wasn't a teacher before this. I worked for 5 years in youth ministry, so I've worked with primary school age children, high school, sixth form, young adults, and so this has been a new sort of way of working for me, but yeah, I love the chance to still go and engage with all ages of students. And I just wanted to show you quickly first how to, hopefully my video works.
I don't know where it's done. For some reason it's...
So Did the guy Ash set up the drive for you?
Yeah,
there?
he said it was on Google
Okay.
Google Doc
Right, so
Drive.
we can. It might be a link in the folder, so we can come out of this.
Okay.
While we're doing that, I can, if you, to save time.
Yeah.
So what we're going to ask you at the end is just a few things. We would love if you would just give us your details. We're not going to hassle you. We're not going to make you support us, and we're not even asking for money. We will come into your school for free, and I know that and we will do some of these things. Ultimately, we want to have a good relationship with all the schools. We're appointing different people in different areas around the country. Rachel here is one of them, and so we're going to have people who are dedicated to your area to go in. Are we okay? I'll come back to this in a minute.
Yeah. Good. Okay, so it should hopefully work now. So we can show you how to find our resources. So there's a painful little video here. So it brings you to the website. We've got a dedicated resources tab there. You can go into primary, secondary. We've got stuff for Red Wednesday, which is our like big sort of flagship event for the year, which is in November. And so it brings you to all kinds of things. There's videos, there's documents that you can download to use yourself. There's all kinds of ways to get in touch with us. Oh, where are we going to now? Okay, so another one. So you've got a variety of things, and sometimes it'll link you back to a presentation, so it's all there ready for you. And other times it's stuff that you can download as well. Oh yeah, we've got some teacher's notes here. So we always try and put everything together that you might need so that you can go and do it your own way. And you can also email us. So there we go, there's the end one. And so I just wanted to focus in on one of our primary school resources that we put together during the lockdown last year. So we were obviously knew that teachers and parents and everyone would be sort of looking for things to do. So we, oh no, this is the same video. Sorry. Anyway, I'll bring you here. So we decided to put together a resource about our Aid to the Church in Need children's Bible. And unfortunately I didn't bring one up with me, that was very silly. But it's a Bible. They've been producing it since 1979, and it's now in about 180 different languages around the world. And so this was a guide sort of through all the different chapters there. And so yeah, we put it together for the Year of the Word. And so there's an interactive map that you can look at, and there's also a game that can be used with it. No, I didn't actually play the game. The map is really good actually. So you can click on all these different countries and it'll bring you up usually a picture, and you can see children in that country exploring the Bible, and you can see all the different sort of landscapes and schools and homes that children around the world live in. And the great thing about the Bible is that everybody, obviously you get it in your own language, but everybody has the same thing. It's the same stories, the same pictures. Oh yeah, there we are. So we're into the to the project there. And so as sort of the lockdown was going on, we had a new booklet every week. And so there were videos to go alongside it. So this is showing us how to find them. There is there's a playlist, and you've got all the stories being read out, and there's little reflections to go along with them. So you've got bishops, priests, sisters, school teachers, all kinds of people that got involved in the project. So it was a really big piece of work to put together, but yeah, we were very proud of it at the end. And then you have an activity for each chapter of the Bible, and so it is geared more for primary schools, but if we've got students like year 7, year 8, they might be getting to take part as well in that. Okay, so we're at the end now. Sorry, what you've learnt from this is me and Maria, not our technical people. So I just wanted to focus a little bit how it fits in to the curriculum. And so as you can see, these were the activity sheets for each chapter. So you've got like here, chapter 5, the story of Noah. There you go, you can hear an appropriate story of Noah and the flood and think about the promise and hope. Chapter 16, it's Moses leading the Israelites. And we've got chapters on Mary, knowing that God chose Mary to be the mother of his son. Jesus the teacher, learning about the parables. And again, the activity to go alongside that. Creation, learning about the story of Adam and Eve and the fall. And learning about how that helps us to understand suffering in the world. And understanding the transformation of Paul. And as you can see, another little activity to go alongside there. So it's a really, I don't say this because I put it together, a big team of us, but it's a really fantastic resource, and the teachers that we've had feedback from have all really enjoyed it, and from parents as well that used it at home when the kids were with them all the time. So, and just sort of another primary school related things I wanted to flag up was, and again, you secondary schools can be involved too, but it's 1 million children praying the rosary, which is a campaign inviting children from all around the world to come together to pray the rosary. So that's the 18th of October. And I kind of shared this on one of the videos, I think, but this is another one of our dedicated primary resources. And this is focusing on St. John the Merciful Table that Marie was talking about. So it's an amazing project in Zaleh in Lebanon. And this activity sort of looks at different videos and some activities, and yeah, it's just a chance for the children to learn about what goes on in Lebanon and how they can take part in that as well in our country. So that's it from me again, and I'm going to hand back over to Marie.
Thank you. So just to finish up, so this is what we're trying to do. We haven't obviously been able to get through. We've got a lot to. There were so many resources when I was putting this together. I was like, what am I going to show them? So we hope that your school will get involved with Aid to the Church in Need through any of our campaigns. And so what's next after today? Please, please, please just give us your details if possible. Please sign up to use our resources. If you give us your details, we will email you and you can get our resources. Please, the letter to Myra, which I didn't have time to read you, there's on your sheet there's a QR code, and that brings you straight to the resource page for Myra, and you could get your school children involved in that, and you can sign the letter, and that letter will go to Myra because some of our office staff are in direct contact with her and her family, so the more signatures we get on that, the better, and it may help her asylum bid as well. We'd love to keep in contact with you, especially as our team grows, and we'd love to work with you and your own schemes of work. We'd love to do mission days, we'd love to do whatever you want us to do. Ultimately, we'd love you to help us to help the church. So we'd love you to get involved in Red Wednesday, to have charity days for us, to run Mufti days, to do St. John the Merciful Table or the Mobile Phone Challenge or any of those things, but not necessarily in the first year. So we're not saying because we come in and do a day, you have to do this. We're saying build a relationship with us, and we will really, really try and work with you because, as I said at the beginning, it goes both ways. So we believe you're helping us, and hopefully our projects will help you and help you to be better teachers because of the depth of the religious experience that the persecuted church brings to us. And before we go, so this band video I showed you, I often do this as an assembly. And all the kids are there going, when are we going to see the band video? When are we going to see the band video? And this one was, it was banned from UK cinemas in 20. I was saying this to my husband last night, and he was going, don't call it the Star Wars film, because everyone will know that you know nothing about Star Wars. But it was a Star Wars film, and it wasn't allowed to be on one of the adverts. Do you know what this is? Yeah. So the warning, it was classified as offensive. This video.
Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven.
Give us this day
our daily bread.
Forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those
who sin against us.
And lead us not into temptation.
Deliver us from evil. Thine is the kingdom,
forever.
Amen. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name.
Not being in your own
Yeah.
zone, isn't it? It's quite weird. So that's what we want. We've got some sheets. Thank you so much for listening. I'm sorry I was talking about 700 miles an hour, but I'm so keen to tell you what we've got, and I'm so keen as another teacher to say, look, we've got stuff that's ready made, so it will make life easier. Bridget's going to give you some freebies.
Feel free to take what you like. We've got information about